Born and raised in the motherland, chasing a better life. Story of an immigrant.
Concrete pastures.
Concrete pastures.
Every trip we do is tailor-made, so no two trips are the same. I personally craft each itinerary for all of our clients. We have two main volunteer projects in India. One is helping at a school as a literacy partner, and also there's opportunities to do repairs and renovations at the school. Or the other opportunity there is installing eco-friendly stoves in a village which is near one of the main tiger safari points.
Hello, family. Welcome back to Concrete Pastures. I am super excited today. We have our lovely, lovely guest. But before I introduce him, I'm Nancy Mwemwasisi, your host. For those of you joining us for the first time, this is a vibrant space dedicated to exploring the journeys of immigrants who have moved to new countries in search of greener pastures. Here we dive into a rich tapestry of experiences, sharing insightful stories and vulnerable lessons we've learned along the way. Our goal is always to provide you with fresh perspectives on the immigrant journey. We celebrate the resilience and the determination it takes to start anew. So don't forget, for those of you, you've been watching our content, you hear our content, but you're not still subscribed. Commit by subscribing, liking, and sharing these amazing stories with your family and friends. Again, today, our amazing guest will be focusing on his entrepreneurship journey, travel companies, and the impact of sustainable tourism. His name is Christopher Hill. He is a New Zealand-based entrepreneur who founded several travel companies, including Impact, Destination, and Hands Up Holidays, which focus on luxurious, philanthropic, and volunteer-based travel. Christopher founded these companies out of the passion of creating meaningful and sustainable travel experiences. His approach involves building direct relationships with communities to ensure volunteer efforts are genuinely beneficial. Welcome, Chris. How are you?
Thank you, Nancy. I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
This is finally happening. It's been long in the making, it seems, almost. So we always start from home. I think you're my first New Zealand guest. I've done Australia,
I'm honored.
I've done the further ones, but I don't think we have. If anyone is, please forgive me already, because it's been so many episodes. How was it growing up in New Zealand?
Yeah, really special time. I think one of the key attributes or qualities of New Zealand is its outdoor activities that are just on our doorstep. So, very lucky to have beautiful mountain ranges nearby and beaches. And so, yeah, growing up, a fairly regular kid in terms of going to school and so on. But we, typically spend our holidays on an island just out from Auckland, where I was based, and so yeah, lots of time on the beach, and getting sunburnt, and then in the winters a bit of skiing at times as well.
Oh my God, I'm jealous. A lot of beach, okay? I'm already jealous. I'm like, should I be moving from New York to New Zealand? Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. But you have the bag of travel, and we just want to understand how you got into the travel industry. What inspired you? Obviously, you are not stranger to a life of an immigrant. You've lived in different countries, of course. But what inspired you?
Yeah, well, as you say, have lived in different countries. So at the age of 12, we moved to Australia, where I lived for 6 years, and then moved back to New Zealand to do my college, where I studied law and business. And at that point, I worked for one summer at a law firm and really enjoyed it. And they enjoyed me, it seemed, because they offered me a job, which I accepted on the and well, got them to agree as well that I could travel for about 9 months before starting working for them. And so they did agree to that. And my thinking at the time was I would travel and see the world and really get travel out of my system and then settle down and become a lawyer. Um, but that well, two things intervened. But firstly, I did that travel for up nearly almost 9 months, and really the opposite happened. Travel didn't get out of my system. It just inspired me to do more, and realizing really that the more you see, the more there is to see in the world. And so it just really ignited a passion for travel. And then the second thing that happened was that in my final year of college, I won a scholarship from one of the British investment banks, and that ended up in me getting a job with them in London. And so I moved to London in 1996 after that well, it ended up being about 7 months of travel because of getting that job. And so yeah, started working for them in 1996. And then if we fast forward another 6 years to 2002, I took a trip to South Africa. And on that trip, in addition to going on safari and exploring the wonders of the garden route and the winelands and Cape Town,
Yeah.
I also helped to build a house for a family in one of the townships just outside of Cape Town. And this, oh, well, it changed my life and certainly set it on a different direction. And it really added two extra dimensions to travel beyond what I had had in all those other months of traveling. And those dimensions were, firstly, I actually got to interact with the local people and hear their stories and gain insights into their lives and share laughs with them. And so that sort of connection, as I say, I hadn't really had prior to that experience. And then secondly, it felt great to actually make a difference in their lives
Yeah.
of the family that I was helping alongside to build their house. And so I got thinking, well, I've learned some good business skills. Why don't I put it into something I'd find a bit more meaningful and fulfilling and make it easy for others to have similar experiences to what I've just had? And so that really was the genesis moment for what became Hands Up Holidays.
Oh, wow. No, that's really, really beautiful. I know when you and I spoke offline, when you mentioned this story that you built a house for a family in South Africa, I was just like, oh my God, I've heard of travel, but not this type of travel. How did you even get connected to the family? How did that come about?
Great question. Well, when I first moved to London, as I say, in 1996, I had a couple of roommates, and one of them actually ended up moving to South Africa. And eventually he ended up becoming a tour guide. And we kept in touch, and he invited me down to on a trip with him and his wife to
Mhm.
travel around South Africa. And I didn't really need much convincing to go on a trip. And so, yeah, went down with him. And at that point, I was, 6 years into working in the city in London, and was thinking about other options. Including I was involved with a startup at the time
Mhm.
that I was considering taking further forward. But he knew that I love to travel, and so he was talking about, why don't you do something in the travel space? And I liked the idea of that. And so one night we were just sort of tossing around some ideas, and one of them that I had was to combine the luxury with sightseeing with some volunteering. And he said, "Well, I'm good friends with the guy who runs Habitat for Humanity in Cape Town. Would you
Mm.
like me to see if they've got a build happening when we get down there. We were, on safari at the time. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. And so he did, and providentially, they did have a build happening. And so that was how I was able to get involved with that.
That's beautiful. That some of the things like we're not even aware of what's happening around the world into the travel, and you combining the two, that is really, really beautiful. That is beautiful. Um, so you've already shared your personal story and how you got started, and what sets holidays apart, like the hands up holidays. I think that's your agency, right?
Yes, the first one we started, yeah.
Yeah, so because there's so many agencies, there's so many travel agencies. What sets it apart from other travel agencies?
Mm, gosh, yeah. I think the the first thing would be that we include this service, volunteering component in all of our trips. So that's pretty unusual. And then we overlay that with specializing at the luxury end of the market. And so yeah, there's definitely providers that specialize in luxury travel for sure, but there's not really anyone else that specializes in the luxury with the volunteering components. And then the other key distinctions I would say are that every trip we do is tailor made, so no two trips are the same.
Mm.
I personally craft each itinerary for all of our clients. And so I, take the time to truly understand our clients, and then ascertain what they're what they want to get out of their trip, and then create an itinerary, and then tweak it to get it perfect for them. And then finally, I'd say the other key distinction would be, particularly with Hands Up Holidays, this isn't really true of our other um, brands that we run, but with Hands Up Holidays, we focus primarily on families. And
Mm.
so that's a key differentiator as well.
So, I mean, Dubai is known for its luxury, and someone comes to you, I want to go to Dubai for a holiday, for Christmas, whatever it is that everybody celebrates. What does that look like? And how do you pinpoint on where they can go and volunteer?
Mm. Dubai's not a great example, I'm afraid, because we don't offer Dubai.
Got you.
um,
So there's just I guess specific areas where you direct, I guess, clients to go to.
there are, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's really the destinations that are on our website are the ones that we offer. I mean, we do and have done Dubai as like a stopover destination
Mm,
to the main event, but that's as far as it goes with us with regards to Dubai. So if we were looking at somewhere relatively close to there, say India, could be. Um, so if someone's interested in going to India,
mhm,
then would be uh, well, the we have two main volunteer projects in India. One is helping at a school as a literacy partner, and also there's opportunities to do repairs and renovations at the school. Or the other opportunity there is installing eco-friendly stoves in a village which is near one of the main tiger safari points. And so firstly, we would sort of ascertain which area of service project is of interest to the clients there.
mm,
And assuming that one of them is of interest, then we would build the itinerary around that. So, for example, if it was the teaching project, then that's in Delhi. And so the itinerary then would find out, how long the traveller has, and then what are the sort of things they like to do on their on a regular vacation. And so the obvious things around, well, not actually not that obvious, but things that for a Delhi-based itinerary would be that we love to offer are things like going on a walking tour of the city with a former street kid
Mm,
who has been who has lived on the streets and so has that first-hand experience,
yeah.
but is now a tour guide. And so that's really
Wow.
incredible experience we're able to offer our clients that they one are helping support a foundation that trains street kids in tour guides and provides them with an income, and they get these incredible insights into what it's like to live on the streets of Delhi. And then other things we offer are things like home cooking class in Delhi, and say a Bollywood dance lesson if you're interested in that sort of thing.
That's
And
fun.
then yeah, and then that can be combined with, say, a trip to the Taj Mahal, and then, if time permits, going a bit into Rajasthan, which is relatively close to Delhi. So we, for instance, to Jaipur, or maybe a bit further out to Udaipur, places like that. So it really just depends on what the client's time frame is and their
Mm,
interests. But um, as I say, for the volunteering part, they would spend, again, depending on how long they want to spend, say 2 or 3 days helping at the school as
okay.
a reading partner. And it's a really inspiring school there. It was founded by a woman who, she was from quite a privileged Indian background. She is Indian. Her father was a diplomat, and when he passed away, she
Mm,
decided that she was going to put her inheritance into starting up these schools in Delhi in order to ensure that that the slum dwellers actually get a decent education, because education is compulsory in India, but the quality of it is really bad. So she set up these free schools for the students to go to as an add-on to their compulsory schooling.
oh, wow. No, you've answered a lot of my questions because one of my questions was how long is the volunteer? Just so someone, because if you go for 2 weeks or a week, how much time do you have to put in? Do your clients have to pay for the volunteer time?
Yeah, yeah, they do, and that's part of our model. Really, is what I frame it as philanthro volunteering, and
Yeah.
what I mean by that is that it's the funds that our clients bring, which is the main benefit. And this is
Yeah.
particularly true with our building projects. So, for instance, if we stay on the India theme, and the client was interested in installing the eco-friendly stove in the village, they would pay for all the materials, and they would pay for local experts
Yeah.
to supervise our clients and do any tricky bits. And so that model is actually providing employment in the local community, um, by, as I say, hiring local people to supervise our people. And so that, yeah, that's the model, is that the main benefit is the funds, and then the benefits that our clients get is that interaction and engagement that I spoke about, like what I had in South Africa.
No, that's beautiful because I want for anybody who would be interested in this because it's so inspiring. You go to these places and sometimes people are looking to volunteer, but they don't know the whereabouts. So you are giving that platform as to this is you're gonna go volunteer and you're gonna go for your luxury, travel, enjoy your vacation, but in a day or two, 3 days, you could volunteer at an orphanage or at a school to help someone, read. I think it's very, very inspirational. How do I know you have kids? How do your kids like this? So you guys, I'm sure you practice what you are selling. So when you travel, how are the kids engaged into this? Because there's a lot of our listeners that have kids. Like, how do we incorporate that with kids?
Mm, mm. Yeah. Well, when I first started Hands Up Holidays, so as I say, we launched in 2006, I had young professionals in mind as our main audience. So it's
Mm,
25 to 35-year-olds,
yeah.
cash rich, time poor, who wanted to have a great vacation and make a difference. However, right from the beginning, we were getting bookings from families, and families weren't on my radar at all when I was setting it up. And so I'd ask out them, why are you booking with us? And they'd say things like, our kids come from pretty privileged backgrounds and we really want them to appreciate just how fortunate they are. Or they'd say, we're looking for a great family bonding experience and this
Mhm.
really nails it for us. And that resonated with me and resonates even more now that I do have children of my own. And so, yes, yeah, it's a wonderful thing to be able to bring our kids on a trip like this. So, for example, recently we took a trip to Bali in Indonesia,
Yeah.
and we were part of building a disabled accessible bathroom for a paraplegic
Oh my God.
there. And the context for that is that in Bali, if you're born with a disability, because it's a Hindu island, it's considered like bad karma, and so people with disabilities, particularly um, something like paraplegia, can mean that you're sort of hidden away from the rest of the world, and end up leading very lonely, isolated lives. And so to be able to provide a measure of independence and dignity in the area that's something so personal as going to the bathroom is it was really profound. And so yeah, our kids were able to get involved with drawing water from the village well and taking that water over to where the cement was being mixed. It was all mixed by hand,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
and
By hand.
and they got involved with that, mixing the cement and then loading the cement onto the wheelbarrows and then wheeling it over to where the experts were doing the tricky parts of actually, paving the bathroom area, and then they also got on the end of a paintbrush as well. We ended up painting the house of the family as well. And so, and really crucially, they got involved with playing soccer with the local kids and interacting with them. So they got that
Beautiful.
immersion as well. And so yeah, it was very beautiful to see.
Uh, um, I'm really, really inspired just hearing what you're saying, because this is really, really something different that I've never heard of this. And when your team did reach out, I'm just like, oh my God, I've never heard of this. And even when I looked up, did research, and I'm like, I've never heard of this type of travel, because everybody out there is selling to have a good time. And of course, nobody's knocking anyone. But this type of travel, I think, is a game changer. I would encourage for anybody listening and watching. I think changing people's lives is what we're here for. Um, Helping each other, lifting each other. This is what we're here for. So you guys are really doing amazing work. Um, Having said that, what would you say has been very rewarding for doing this work for you?
For me,
Yeah.
yeah, I think for me it's the fact that each trip is really a win-win. And what I mean by that is that our clients benefit and the communities that they're involved in benefit. And so for travel to actually be a force for good for me is incredibly meaningful. And so that's what gets me out of bed each morning is seeing that the messages from both our clients and the communities and seeing how they've been transformed.
No, I love it. I'm writing down a travel, a force for good. It's almost like a title of an episode, which I think should be. No, it's really amazing. So, what do you see the future of your companies would look like? Like, what do you think the future of travel should be for you?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think broadly speaking, it should be sustainable. And so I'll just quickly touch on our approach to that, because it I think sustainability uh, it doesn't need to involve the volunteering component. I think it's enhanced when it does, but more broadly speaking, I think all travel could be more sustainable. And so we take a holistic approach to our trips, in that it's not just the service, the volunteering component that we view as positive and sustainable, but it's also the accommodation, it's the restaurants, it's the guides and so on. So, for example, with regards to the accommodation, yes, we focus on luxury, but we overlay that with a focus on eco luxury. So, looking at those properties, hotels that take sustainability principles seriously,
Mm.
and then we also look at we lead with our recommendations for restaurants with those that are using organic material, organic ingredients, and source those ingredients locally. And then we take the approach in terms of transport to look for um, uh, eco-friendly, sustainable transport options such as electric vehicles where they're available. And then another part of our philosophy is to employ local guides rather than bringing in a guide from
Mm-hmm.
overseas.
Yeah.
We employ locally, and so I think all these things add up to a sustainable trip. And any travel company really can do all of these things, even if they're not including the volunteering component.
Wow. I love that. I mean, have you faced any challenges? Because not everyone is on board with sustainability, having these eco-friendly hotels. Um, it's slowly but sure getting there, but we're behind, like so many years behind when it comes to eco-friendly hotels. What are some of the challenges you're facing?
Well, I think that, yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. And in some destinations that we offer, those eco-friendly, eco-luxury options aren't there, and we just have to make do with what is available.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But at the same time, we can also gently prod our um, our hotel partners to be more sustainable, and that goes beyond um, just the what's the word? The physical aspects of the hotel can also go to things like their employment practices, and are they employing locally as well?
Mm.
And so it's things like that we can get involved with, as I say, gently prodding our hotel partners around. In terms of other challenges, certainly when we first launched, a challenge we faced was at that point we had a fixed date and set itinerary model, and that was okay as far as it went. But we would also reach sometimes where we would have situations, say, with a fixed group trip, that we had a minimum number of people that were needed to make the booking for that particular date. And so sometimes, let's say it was four people, and sometimes we'd get two or three people, but not reach four. And that was definitely challenging with trying to rebook them on other trips, or potentially not running the trip at all. Was really frustrating. So that was the main catalyst for moving over to the fully tailor-made model that I mentioned, where we can run a trip for one person now, um, and just craft it for that particular person. More commonly, it's a family, and that's another reason that the families are attractive, because then you've got a ready-made group as well. You've already typically, you've got quite often four people already, so
Yeah.
that helps with any sort of minimum number issue, even if you're using that fixed date approach. And then I'd say everything is probably overshadowed by the biggest challenge we faced, which was COVID, which forced us to close for a couple of years.
Oh, wow. Yeah. COVID just didn't that help? I guess in restructuring, because for a lot of people, they did restructure. Like even the corporate world that I'm in, we all just restructured everything into virtual and doing a lot of things virtually instead of in person. Did that help restructure the way you run your business?
Not really, because we're so experiential that we can't really run our trips virtually. Yeah, it's very much hands on, and so yeah, it definitely. I struggle. Well, yeah, I do struggle to think of anything for our business that was positive out of COVID. It was,
Yeah,
we literally had 2 years of zero income.
sorry. Wow. Oy, oy, oy. So I mean, for somebody who's looking, let's say, going to, um, would say maybe a trip to, let me see, what's my dream? You already mentioned Bali is one of my to-do list. Um, if someone had to travel, let's say, to Egypt, what does that look like in terms of cost
Mm,
for you guys?
mm, yeah. Uh, um, there's so many variables. It's somewhat hard to say, but just to give you a bit of a guide. And what I mean by the variables is, the length of the trip obviously makes a difference to how much a trip costs,
Yeah,
and then the type of activities you do and the level of accommodation are big drivers. But as a rough and ready rule, you'd be looking at around starting from about $500 per person per day.
gotcha. Okay. Because again, to our listeners, this is a luxury vacation aside from just volunteering. It's also a luxury vacation. No, love that. I mean, there's so many platforms, and I want to understand why someone would choose to come to, you know, to luxury travel for you guys. And obviously, you guys are doing something that's very different from everybody else, which is the volunteer piece. Um, if you had to pick a country, which country do you remember more? Do you have great memories of, and where you've really done, you feel like, okay, we did such a big difference in this country?
Mm. Kenya probably springs to mind, actually.
Mm,
Yeah, and the reason for that is, I mean, one, it's an amazing country in and of itself, and the safari experiences are extraordinary, as well as incredible beaches as well. But in terms of having done something significant, we've had a long-standing partnership with a Maasai community that is really quite forward-thinking, certainly relative to other communities in the area, and particularly in the areas of female genital mutilation and forced early marriage.
yeah,
And so we've been very privileged to be involved with helping build accommodation for young girls that are fleeing other villages and have a place to stay in this community where those practices are not done,
yeah.
and so they can have a place to stay and also receive an education as well and have much more autonomy over their future destinies. And so it's been, yeah, as I say, really a great privilege to have been involved with them for a good number of years now, and get those accommodations built and see these young women really flourishing.
Oh, that's really beautiful. I'm an advocate for any changes when it comes to female mutilation. I actually did a paper in school. It was the most difficult paper I had to do. The fact that you guys are making a difference for those young girls being forced to do um, things being done to them that they're not supposed to be done. Kudos to you guys. Really applaud you for that. What tips would you give? Tips, secrets you wish people knew about travel?
Mm. I think wish people knew about travel. That I touched on it kind of already. That I think when people think of travel, they often think of, you mentioned Egypt, so the pyramids,
Yeah,
or the Burj Al Khalifa in Dubai, or
yeah,
Eiffel Tower, or the Colosseum, or whatever the case may be. which are all great and well worth seeing, of course. But to my mind, the real treasures of a destination are its people. And so, um, in whichever format you can, get out and go local and engage with the local people and and your experience will be immensely enriched.
Yeah, no, that's really true because I see it even when I go home. I've been in the US now. I mean, I came straight out of high school to come here, so I can only relate too much to the US now because my whole adulthood has been here. And going home and just connecting with our local um, people, it just makes the trip really worth it. My kids are looking forward to going home next year. Like we're going home. I'm just like, oh my God, when are we going? Every day now. I'm like, I wish I didn't mention anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. Like honestly, when you travel anywhere, a lot of people are scared to to go outside, let's say the resort or the hotel. So this is where you guys come in handy to have those guides. They know where to go and they are local. So I really, really understand where you guys are coming from with that. Any last words, anything that you is on your heart that you want to share with our audience about travel and what you guys do at heart?
Yeah, well, I'll quickly touch on Impact Destinations, which is our other brand.
Yes.
And that the difference between Hands Up Holidays and Impact Destinations is that with Impact Destinations, it's a traveler's philanthropic donation that enables the experts to do what they do best. And at the same time, will unlock a unique experience for the traveler. So, for example, what that could look like would be, say, in Australia, we offer the opportunity to fund a scholarship for a promising Aboriginal art student.
Mm.
And then in return for that, you get to have a session with an established Aboriginal artist from whom you can commission your own unique work of art. So this is really around being able to leave a legacy and still have a unique encounter.
That's beautiful. Wow. I love it. I love it. Chris, I know this has been a long time in the making. Thank you for your time. I've learned a lot from the travel and why it's important for us to really actually do connect with the communities that where we go to visit. You've already changed the way I want to travel, aside from my own country, but to other countries. I really want to leave an impact wherever I go in different communities, which is something that all of us, a lot of us don't think about. So thank you for bringing that to light and love what you guys are doing, especially what you guys are doing in Kenya, because our voices have to be loud when it comes to kids being mutilated, the little girls being mutilated. Our voices have to continue to be loud until it stops. So thank you for your time, and thank you for all you guys are doing. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's an honor and a privilege to be on. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Concrete pastures.